And now for our off-road or dirt bike, as you can see, this is going to take a few balloons here. I've got a black 160 with about 3 inches uninflated on the end of it. 2 gray 160s with about 4 inches uninflated on the end of those. A green, I've chosen green for this bike, so a green 160 with about 5 or 6 inches uninflated. We're not going to use even all of that. And then 2 green 260s, each with about 3 inches uninflated on the end. One of them I have trimmed the nozzle very close, the other I've left a little bit on there. We're going to start with the one with a little bit of nozzle left on it because we're going to start by making a pair of pinch twists. There's our first one. And there's our second one. And I chose green because green and yellow are very common colors for the off-road dirt bikes. Position the two pinch twists so that one is sideways, one is perpendicular to it, lined up with the direction of the balloon. We're going to make about 3/4 to 1 inch bubble. Make another pinch twist. I was going to say, just let it run. I'll just edit it. And we're starting with the first green one, or 260, that has the nozzle left on the end of it. We're going to start by making a pair of pinch twists. Make your first bubble. Make it a pinch twist. Your second bubble. Make that one a pinch twist as well. And you're going to line your pinch twists up so that they're perpendicular to each other. One is perpendicular to the balloon, and there's lined up with the remaining balloon like that. That'll make a handlebar stand up straight in a minute, stick out right. Now we're going to make about a 3/4 to 1 inch bubble, followed by another small round bubble that will become a pinch twist again, just like that. Now you're going to want about a 4-inch bubble, followed by another pinch twist, and then about a 2.5 to 3 inch bubble, another pinch twist. Now we're going to make a little box that's going to go, this is part of the frame. We're going to come down, over, up, back, over, and up again. So, and all these bubbles are going to be about the same size as that one. So make your first bubble, your second bubble, and then your third bubble, all roughly the same size, and then come and twist up into this other pinch twist in the front here. And now you can see the box I was referring to. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just retrace our path and come back up that way. So you need another bubble that size, lock that in there. Another one to match that one. Lock that one in there. And then one last one to the back. And the little bit that you have left over is going to be your rear fender. So you should have something looking like that. This is going to be where our back wheel is going to go. The back seat will be here. And then the front is going to be up there. So now we're going to take our other green 260. And this is the reason that I trimmed it close, because this is going to be our front fender. So what you're going to want to do here is make about a 2-inch bubble, just like that. And then we're going to make a pair of small pinch twists here. So first round bubble, make that a pinch twist. Second round bubble, make that a pinch twist as well. Now we're going to make, it's going to be our front forks. So you're going to make about a 2.5 inch bubble, and then another bubble the same size, and then twist it back into those 2 pinch twists there, just like that. So that's our front forks. There's our front fender. Now what we're going to do is you're going to make about a 3/4 inch bubble. Then we're going to grab the rest of our frame. We're going to twist that bubble into this bubble right here, just like that. Now this is where your measurement's going to be a little more tricky, because you want to make sure your bike sits right. If you make this bubble too short, it's going to pull your front end down. What we're going to do is we're going to come from there to the front of our little box here. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you put it in there, your bike frame stays pretty much straight. If you make it too short, you're going to pull your frame down and your bike's not going to sit right. So measure that so that when you twist it in there, your bike frame is going to stay pretty much straight. So measure that, and then just a hair longer. There we go. Just like that. See how the bike frame is staying straight. Now we're going to come back up to here with another bubble that same size. Twist into that pinch twist at the front of my bike. Now we need another bubble, same size as this little short one, to go down into there. And then twist that into those two pinch twists there. Where that meet your forks. There we go. Tricky there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to complete our front fender by taking a piece of this, make about an inch to an inch and a half bubble, and then top off the excess. Making sure to keep that, tie it off, and I'm going to trim that up a little bit. That's going to be your front fender. Now you notice how it's kind of sticking up. What you're going to do is you've got two bubbles here where we brought those up. You're going to turn those sideways and then rotate your fender so that it's straight like that. And now you can take one of these and wedge it up in there. So now you can control how your front wheel will stick down instead of out. So there's the basic frame of your bike, like that. Now what we need to do is we need to make, excuse me, some spokes for our wheels. We're going to start by making the front ones. And these are a little different than the spokes that we made for our other bikes, because I'm going to have more of a solid spoke effect going on here. So what I want to do here is I'm going to take, what I basically want to get is a little small circle that's going to be kind of hard to describe. I want it just a little bigger than the wheel there. But the challenge here, you don't want it too small or you end up with a little bitty small front wheel. So the way I'm going to do this, you're going to have to kind of follow. It's going to be a little tricky initially. It's going to look weird. I'm going to make a little small round bubble. We'll make that a pinch twist, and I'm going to go ahead and split that pinch twist. Just like that. Now I'm going to take and poke that through carefully. And I'm going to come around just snug enough that it goes all the way around, like that. Now what I want to do, there's the beginning of it. Now I want to make another layer that's going to wrap around this. And I'm going to have to poke this in through here, pull it through just like that, and then bring it around and connect it into that split pinch twist. And the reason I wanted to split pinch twist is because it's easier to lock that in place like that. Now I'm going to take the rest of this, remove it, but I want to keep that intact because I'll use that for my back spokes. I can just lock that around the split pinch so it stays in place. Now what you want to do is you're going to take that pinch twist there and rotate it up into the middle here of my two forks. That's the spoke for my front tire. Now the back tire is going to be a little bit simpler than that. All I'm going to do is take and poke it through the first pair, then out the back pair like that. And the reason I'm doing this differently is because it's got two, it'll stay in place a little better. That one would look weird. Just take my word on that. Trust me. So I'm going to take and measure a circle, and I want it to be where this is roughly the same size as that outer circle there. I'm going to take the excess, pop it off, and then take this and tie it up here around to complete my spoke, just like that. Tie those two ends together. And then I'm going to take and rotate this so that the knot is back up in the middle of that back half of the fork there. And now to make our tires, we're going to take our black 160. What you want to do is I'm going to kind of push that up in there in the front fork and measure around so that it'll wrap just around that gray spoke nicely. And I'm going to pop this excess off, but remember to keep the back part inflated because obviously we have a back tire to make as well as a seat out of what's left of this black. So set that aside. I'm going to tie this. Now I'm going to take and push that up in between the front forks just far enough through that I can reach through and tie this. I'm going to tie those two ends together and grab a hold of them. There we go. Now that I've got those tied, I'm going to push that knot back up in the middle of the forks and just wrap the tire around the spokes. So there's your front tire. And now we're going to take what we have left of the black 160. We're going to make our back tire. So poke it up through the bottom of your forks. And then pull it through. A little bit of a tight squeeze if you need it this size. So it'll kind of poke through there. And then I'm going to measure this around so it'll meet it up there. And then again, pop that off, but I'm going to keep that to complete the back seat here in a moment. Or to complete the seat. Just like that. I'm going to tie that end off. Now I want to take and poke this up through there just enough that like at the front tire, I can reach up and tie those two ends together just like that. And then I want to poke the knot where those are tied back up in there. Pull that around. And now we've got our back tire complete. Let's take our black 160, what we have left of it. I'm going to twist it into the pinch twist here in the middle of our bike. Like that. I'm going to run it back along to this back pinch twist here. Wrap it around. And then bring it back up to the front. Wrap it around that. And then just pop off this excess. Secure that in. Just like that. Tuck that away. And now we have a back seat. So let's take our green 160. We need to make our handlebars. I'm going to make about, let's move that out of the way so it doesn't interfere with your vision. About a 3/4 to 1 inch bubble. I'm going to make a pair of small pinch twists on the end after that bubble. Just like that. And I'm going to make about a 3 to 3.5 inch bubble. Another bubble the same size. 2 more pinch twists. Just like that. And then another bubble, same size as that one on the other end for your other handlebar. And then I'm going to keep that a little bit there, what I've got left of my green 160, to make some foot pegs. So, now those are our handlebars. I'm going to take and divide that into 2 equal bubbles, and then twist those into the 2 pinch twists up here at the top, just like that. Give them a little shape. And there's our handlebars. Now you could stop there if you wanted because it doesn't have to have a motor. And this also could make a nice bicycle, obviously, because it doesn't have a motor, so you could stop there with a nice bike. But we are making a motorcycle, so I'm going to continue on. Obviously they don't have pedals, but they do generally have little foot pegs. So I'm going to make about a 2 inch bubble, a little pinch twist, Another 2-inch bubble. Pop this excess off, we don't need it anymore. Just trim that up. So I've got basically a little V there. I'm going to take this, bring it down the frame there, spin it around to lock those in place. Oops, there went my pinch twist. Put my pinch twist back in place. And if you put the pinch twist on the bottom, you can bring one peg out either side. Oops, just lost one. And there's your foot pedals, or your footrest. Now we're going to take and make our motor and our exhaust pipe. So we're going to take our gray 160. What we want to do with it is I'm going to make a little bubble, a small bubble on the end. Then I'm going to push that bubble up inside there. Pull my finger back out while I grab the bubble from the outside of the balloon. I'm making a tulip twist, just like that. And the advantage to having that, oops, I say that and now it's not going to do it. Generally that bubble, if you'll make that bubble on there, instead of just pushing the knot, it gives it more to grab with, and your pinch twist will stay a little bit better by doing that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our motorcycle. You want to measure where your exhaust is going to come up here until it goes almost up into that right there. Yeah, that looks pretty good right about there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a little pinch twist, just like that. This is how we're going to attach it. Now what we want to do is we're going to make a little small bubble, and I'm going to take it, I'm going to wrap it around the base of the handlebars here, just like that. A little snug, and then come back with another bubble the same size and lock into that pinch twist there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make our motor. So that's going to cut down the fiber in a minute, but not just yet. We're going to come down to make about a 2-inch bubble, and we're going to make a pinch twist, and I'm going to make just a little fold twist, just have to make sort of a little round part at the bottom. Just like that. And there's another pinch twist to make that stay in place. There we go. So I've got a bubble, the 2 pinch twist, and the little fold twist. Now we're going to come up with about a 1-inch bubble, a pinch twist, another 1-inch bubble, and twist that into the 2 pinch twist there. And we're going to go the other direction with a slightly smaller bubble and a pinch twist, and then another little bubble like that, and come back in and lock that into there. And then the rest of this we're just going to pop off, we don't need anymore. I'm going to back up and show you what we're doing just so you can see where we went with all this. Remember, we started at our end with our tulip twist. We made a bubble that comes almost to the base of the handlebars. Made a pinch twist. We made a little small bubble to the base of the handlebars, a small bubble coming back to that pinch twist, about a 2-inch bubble. We've got the 2 pinch twists, a little fold twist, and then the 2 little pieces sticking out that are basically a bubble with a pinch twist and a bubble coming back. The top one's a little longer than the bottom one. Now we're going to take this whole thing and we're going to wedge that up inside there. And then once you put this in here, we're going to turn that fold twist so it kind of sits that way. And that the one on the bottom wedges down in the bottom of your frame to hold that all in place. Turn that sideways. There's your little 2-cylinder engine. And we're going to bring this back to the back here. Get it all back in place. Give that a little shape. Now your tailpipe's not going to stay very good until you secure it. You can bend it where it'll stay like that if you want, if you use glue dots. take your little glue dot, and I'm going to stick it on the side of my exhaust pipe there, and then just stick that back here to the frame. Give it a little shake. So there is your completed dirt bike, complete with a motor, foot pegs, exhaust pipe.